She is speaking tonight for 8 minutes. The title of her speech is The Art of Conversation. Please welcome Ms. Betty Weaver.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Toastmasters and welcome guests. The art of conversation. There is an art to it. Now for the prom, these young kids, all they know is email. I suppose if they're going to ask someone to the prom, they do it by email. They would never, some they may call on the phone, but I would say email. And does anybody younger than 20 ever write a letter anymore? I think that's a lost art. My mother came to visit one time, and she sat at the table and she said, I had served meatloaf. She's eating the meatloaf and she says, have you ever tasted Barbara's meatloaf? That was my sister. It is absolutely wonderful. I don't know how she does it. It is just wonderful. Well, of course, that didn't sit too well with me, but I didn't say anything. Then on another occasion, she would look at my artwork. I would have stuff hanging up. She'd say, oh my gosh, you should see Ann's artwork. That was my niece. And she has never had a lesson. It's incredible. I'm standing there. Then I heard, she was talking about my sister-in-law's house, Joan, who lives in Tennessee. Oh, this house is absolutely gorgeous. We had a brand new home. I found out later from Joan, my sister-in-law, that when she went there, all she did was talk about my house, how gorgeous my home was. And I even had a swimming pool. And Joan thought, that's ridiculous. No one gets a pool anymore. They're just trying to do upmanship from one to the other there in Florida. Then I found out, so I talked to my mother about it. She said, well, I never think that you should compliment anyone right to their face. You know that your house is beautiful. Why should I tell you your house is beautiful? I want other people to know about it. Why should I talk to you about your art? You know your art is good. And that's why I do that. I could never get through to her. So I would say that is not the way to go. But my mother, she was what she was. God love her. And other than that, she was absolutely perfect. Now, we'll talk about the telephone. Have you ever called someone and you couldn't get off the phone? Well, my sister Lilene is unbelievable. We're on the phone and she talks on and on and on. She tells me about the neighbor who has this beautiful piece of furniture and now they bought another house, and then she talks about someone else. And this goes on and on. Lilene, I have to go, honey. Well, yes, okay, but I just want you to know this. And this goes on and on and on. This is a true story. I actually went to the front door and I rang the doorbell. I said, Lilene, someone's at the door, I have to go. And I hung up. So there is really an art to conversation, especially on the phone. There is a beginning, a middle, and an end. When you make the call, you need to tell that person, oh, honey, I am calling because I wanted to invite you to dinner. Or, honey, I'm calling because I wanted to ask how you're feeling. This is the introductory. I wanted to know, I would like to know how are the children, how are they, and did he have a cold? Does he still have a sore throat? In other words, you are talking to them about them and their needs. And you're interested in what they're doing or what their family's doing. Then there's the middle. And you talk about other things that they have been doing. and you talk about, and are you doing any artwork these days? And you talk about them personally. What have you done lately? And I certainly hope that you can come down and visit us when you're in town. In fact, just tell me right now, put it on the calendar, you need to come to Florida and visit us. Then you say, I only have a few minutes. I have to hang up. But I just want you to know, I enjoy talking to you, and call me sometimes. Then you hang up the phone. Now, this always is much better when someone makes a phone call. They need to be considerate. They need to be caring. They need to not hold the person on the phone too long. Then here's the thing about gossiping. If someone is gossiping and telling you all these things that the neighbor did or someone else in the family did, you have to cut this off as soon as possible. Don't add to it. Because when they get off the phone, they will start gossiping about you. So you have to say, well, I really don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. And get off the phone as soon as you can. So that is what I would say. Every conversation should have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and a happy ending. And that is what I have to say about your conversation. It's very, very important to be polite to people. And even write a letter once in a while. It won't hurt you. People love to receive letters and a nice card. So the world would be a better place if people would only do that. Mr. Toast.